everybody. Welcome to Talking Heartland Podcast. We're the Hallmarkies Podcast, and we're very excited to be here to be talking about Season 2, Episodes 7 through 9 of Heartland. We're digging through this series. It's so fun. And I'm film critic Rachel Wagner, and Michelle's here.
Hey, guys.
And Amy's here.
Hello.
Yes. And so we've got some pretty intense episodes to be talking about. It's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you guys are doing okay there? You're getting through it, getting through this madness?
Oh, yeah, barely.
That's good. Well, I give you permission, Michelle, when the ice cream truck comes, we can put this week, we can put the podcast on hold, and you can go and get an ice cream. Well, I'll comp it on the podcast.
I haven't heard them yet, so
okay.
I think we might be good.
Okay. Yeah, Amy missed it last week we were interrupted by the
I did a really good job of masking it in all the other episodes.
It's so funny.
I just think it's so funny because where we are, or where I am at least, it's 9 a.m, and I just think the ice cream truck like at 9 a.m.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it would be pretty tempting to go ahead and get an ice cream, especially if it's as hot as it is evidently in the world in Heartland. It's very, very hot in these episodes. And Jack will not spring for an AC. We know that. But so it starts out, so let's dive in here. We have the first episode we're talking about is called Sweetheart of the Rodeo. And it starts out with a rescue of a young man who's been in a canoe, who's been in the water. And we get introduced to Constable Mark Rodriguez. And Amy also goes in to try to help. And so, yeah, it was a pretty exciting introduction. What do y'all think of that? What do you think, Michelle?
I was super distracted because of the actor.
Okay.
I know him from another show, so it was kind of like, yeah, it kind of took me out of the show for a second. But yeah, I liked the opening.
What other show is he on?
Oh geez,
a lot of shows.
He was in a show back in, I think it was 2001, and it was called Vampire High.
Oh, I know what that is.
Yeah, it was sort of around the same time of like Degrassi and all those kind of Canadian shows. Megan Ory was in the show as well, and he played like a Edward Cullen-esque vampire who was brooding and
I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah, that's him.
Oh my gosh, I'm never gonna be able to take that guy seriously again.
I'm sorry.
Well, he was a pill in this episode. He comes around a little bit, but I was frustrated with him. I mean, he was so rude. Yeah. But I didn't have any previous baggage with him. But yeah, so they saved this little boy or this young man, and then we find out about this charity polo match. So this is a big deal, and I mean, I didn't realize that there was even sort of this really uppity kind of side of the town. In that, I forget the name of the town.
Hudson.
Yeah. I didn't realize there was this uppity polo club kind of side of things. And obviously we know that Val is kind of uppity, but I don't know. There's a whole charity polo match.
Well, yeah, and I mean, Lisa also owns a breeding facility as well. So we've got everything, every type of horse thing you can do. Yeah, they've got in this town. Yeah,
so that plays off in a lot of different levels. You have Jack and Lisa. That Jack says that it don't take a genius to spot a goat in a flock of sheep. And so he would be out of place at the polo match. And so he's nervous about that and doesn't want to go. And Amy is upset with Mallory about what happened with Spartan in the last episode.
Yeah.
And Mallory's getting pretty rambunctious. And she said that this is the Heartland child labor camp. What do you think about Jake and Mallory in this episode?
They're adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny. I mean,
okay, sorry, pause for a second. Is this episode 6 we're talking about or episode 7?
Episode 7.
Didn't all of that happen, the drowning and everything happen in episode 6 though?
No, 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah, so I'm super confused as well. I think Netflix has got episode 6 and 7 flipped.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, the one with the officer drowning and everything, that was episode 6.
The thing that confused me is they're talking about the rodeo that happens in the next episode. And yeah, so it's sort of back to front on Netflix.
Oh, so did you guys talk about the rodeo last week then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. I was so confused as well.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Well, anyway, we're talking about this episode. Whatever you want to call it, whatever number.
If everybody's watching on Netflix along with us, they'll know because they'll be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but these are a little bit out of order. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like Mallory when she says to him, "I just don't like you the way you like me. Leave me alone." Jake.
Oh God, Mallory.
And by the end, she basically says, "I didn't want none of him. I just wanted less of him." Which is really cute. And Mallory, maybe she's gotten too comfortable at Heartland because she says to Jack, she says, maybe that's what they used in the Paleozoic age. When he tries to give advice.
Jack, the relationship counselor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this Rodriguez guy, he thinks that Amy is basically full of it, and the whole idea of the horse whispering is ridiculous. And he says that I don't want to waste emotion on a source of transportation. So he's a skeptic. But so I was really not liking him in this episode, but he did kind of come around a little bit in the next episodes.
I feel like for you to work with an animal for 6 years and not get attached, that's very like unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. And I mean, yeah, I'd understand like his point if it was, you know, something like super hippy dippy trippy or whatever, but that's not what Amy's doing. She's just kind of like being gentle and kind with the horses. As far as what I can see, she's just being nurturing with them. And they find out that Sugarfoot and this horse called Venture are good friends, that they get along really well. The pony, Mrs. Bell's pony. Well, that was pretty cute, I thought. Yeah. So you have that Val is super embarrassed that Ashley is entering the rodeo queen. Michelle, what do you think about Val and Ashley?
I mean, it's really, I think it's the next episode that really escalates, but yeah, you can sort of see Ashley's point. You're more on Ashley's side at this point. At this point, Val is just, she's off the deep end. She's really off the deep end.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't. I guess I'm just not in that world, so
Yeah.
I don't see what's so horrible about the
Clear
rodeo.
what Ashley wants. I mean, she just wants her mum to care about her and not care about appearance and status and all of the things that she holds above her family, especially Ashley. So it's pretty clear what Ashley wants from her. She just seems completely unwilling to bend or give it to her or show any kind of vulnerability whatsoever.
Yeah, what do you think, Amy?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with Michelle, and I also think to an extent because of Val's older son leaving like he did, like he's gone. That also might be a reason that she's a little bit more controlling of Ashley, is because she, Jesse left. So, this is her like second chance, I guess, kind of as well. And that's why she's one of the reasons I believe she's so controlling.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a little bit unrealistic that Val would sell Apollo like that, because, I mean, wouldn't that be a really valuable horse? Wouldn't it be very expensive?
Yeah.
If it's a special show horse, and has the special abilities and everything. Like we'll talk about it more next episode, but it seemed hard to believe that she would just sell it to some.
I think she knew it's the one thing that would really affect Ashley and hurt Ashley, and I guess she thought maybe this is the one thing that I'll get her back.
But wouldn't you want to sell it to get the, if you are going to sell it, wouldn't you want to sell it to where you could get the most money possible?
So I believe she sold him to an auction house, so she doesn't really control where he goes from there.
It's just surprising to me that she wouldn't have sold it to some other hoity-toity person. You know what I mean? That's doing the jumping and whatever.
Well, we don't also know what level Apollo is at with jumping. Is he a jumper that's good for a high school student, but not necessarily for competing at a higher level, if that makes sense?
Maybe. We know he's way better than Copper, that's for sure.
Well,
but I don't know.
Copper's more of a trail horse, okay? Yeah. He's not a jumper.
Yeah. So we find out, so Lisa is kind of ghosting Jack and not talking to him. And finally he's like, what's going on? And she gives him the suit she had made for him. And she says, I'm not trying to change you. And but she wants him to go to this event. And what do you think, Amy, as far as in a relationship, how much do you think a person should, I guess, change and adapt? And what's that line? And what do you think with Jack here with this club?
Well, I don't know if Jack necessarily should change for Lisa, but at the same time, I think there's a level of, when you're in a relationship like that, of appreciating the other person's likes, what she likes to do and stuff like that. So I feel like he was just being a little over the top. He could just go. It's not, it's something she likes and enjoys to do, and he's with her, so that should make it fun for him that they're together. I think, you can ignore the other stuff, I guess.
What do you think about that, Michelle?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Lisa spends a lot of time at Heartland from what we've seen, so she is kind of meeting him halfway. I think it is so out of his comfort zone, the things that she wants him to do, but it's not like it's every day or every week. She's just wanting him to be a little bit a part of her life on the social scene, and I don't think that's too much to ask. She's not really asking him to change, she's just asking him to stand by her side and and be with her at these events.
Mm-hmm.
She's not asking him to change his whole outlook on these places and on these kind of hoity-toity kind of posh places.
She's
he's
not
just
asking him to
clean.
play polo. She just wants him to watch it.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially if it's something that is like completely painless, like it's not requiring any effort, then I think it's not too much in a relationship to expect it was just kind of like if I was in a relationship with somebody who was super into, I don't know, soccer or something like that I'm not especially into, or hockey or something like that I don't love. Sorry, hockey and soccer fans, not my favorite, or golf. So those kind of things I'm not that big a fan of. But if the person that I'm dating, especially when you're dating, that it's not too much to ask to just go and support the person that you love, and every once in a while, at least for like a big game maybe or something like that, or a big event. I think it's not too much to ask.
I mean, yeah, with us, you have to say, like, someday when we do date someone at some point, they're probably not going to be the hugest fan of Hallmark movies. Yeah. And they're probably going to have to watch some. So.
Yeah, that's right. So yes, I think that's true. And the fact that he ends up coming and wearing the suit is super cute. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked it. It was good. And so then we have the testing kind of. Amy's very clever about how she's trying to get Venture to get back in the water, and she makes like a little sort of water pit in the pen. That's right. That's the word I'm looking for, in the pen. And I thought that was all really interesting and really cool. And she talks about how a horse remembers, and that she tells Mark, she says, I know you love that horse and that Venture loves you. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty good, I thought.
Yeah.
And so then Ashley and Val have it out at the club. That was pretty exciting. Yeah. This is like the Real Housewives of Heartland.
Yeah. My goodness.
Fun. And so then Mark is on Venture, and they basically kind of relive the experience with his brother. So that's the major problem, is that his brother drowned in an accident. And so he's living with all that guilt. And so we also get Lou saying to Scott, are we on or are we off? And he says nothing. And then she says, I guess I have my answer. And we talked about it last week, Amy, but are you frustrated with Scott? We are frustrated, me and Michelle.
Oh, I'm frustrated with both of them.
But I'm much more frustrated with Scott, because I don't know, I feel like he's acting very irrationally. Mm-hmm. Like they just barely got together, and he's been holding this flame for her for so long, and I just feel like the things that he's complaining about are so minor that it doesn't seem like something that would really cause problems. I don't know. It's just not. This conflict isn't working very well.
Something you would go over in like a couple of days.
Yeah. Especially when he was mad about not getting enough time from her, when he had literally left her on their day together to go see somebody. It was frustrating.
Well, I mean, that is his job.
Well, yeah,
she knew but he was on call that day, so.
Well, that would be fine, but he should be understanding of her. If he's leaving on their day together, he should be understanding and not be all pissy about her not having time for him,
Yeah.
So that's the problem. But so that was that episode. So the next episode is called Summer's End. And this is the hot episode when they're hopefully, is that all you have?
Yeah, Summer's End.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So they're super, super hot. And Mallory says she's refusing to go back in the house until Jack gets AC. And I mean, it's asking quite a lot. Mallory as their guest to insist upon air conditioning.
I can only imagine how much it would cost, though, also to put air conditioning in this house.
Yeah.
This generations old home, like, who knows if it's possible?
Like maybe you could get one of those window units.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, Mallory, just go buy your own AC unit.
Yes, but I have to say I do relate, because if it's hot, I cannot sleep. I will be up. I mean, forget it. It's not happening. So, and then
it's all over my room.
and you have Lou making gallons and gallons of lemonade.
Dedicated.
Yeah. So Ty's dad shows up, and he has these horses in this cattle truck.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you think, Michelle, of Ty's dad?
Oh, the worst.
The worst.
That's bad for Ty. Did you just, every single moment where he kind of, you just felt like he was setting up to fall every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Every time his dad gave him a little bit of hope, he would cling on to it, and you're just going, oh, Ty, please don't. You know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
The second I knew Cash was coming into play, I was like, oh, that's gone.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think, Amy?
Just he never gets any redeeming, like, it's just, you can see through this episode kind of where Ty comes from, and he's just not Brad Borden, my least favorite character.
So manipulative.
Yeah.
And he tries to kind of play nice with Ty, and that they're going to go visit the Grand Canyon and all this stuff. And he's super manipulative. And basically when you have the horses in his cattle cars, because of the way it makes them sort of stand, it was very hurtful for them. And one of the horses had to be shot by Jack.
Yeah, well, and they were also dehydrated. Mm-hmm. These horses and this cow, I mean, they were going to be slaughtered, obviously, but it's just awful. Mm-hmm. It makes my heart hurt.
Did you laugh at Ashley with her economy car?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Like, economy car, you mean like what normal people drive, sweetie?
Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing as far as me is I could care less about cars. I mean, literally, I drove a I drove a company car for like 2-3 years that had a giant orange wrap all around it for the hand warmers that we sold. And I do not care at all. I do not care about cars at all. It gets me from here to there. That's all I care about. And but for Ashley, it's somehow a big deal to have this economy car. She's upset about it. And she tells her mom, "Mother, you haven't smiled since the Botox."
God.
That was a good line.
Oh, Ashley sure knows how to burn her mother, though.
Yes. So this was kind of shocking with with Amy recognizing Apollo as one of these horses that's going to the slaughterhouse. Mm-hmm. And it was just surprising to me because I thought that Val would want to get as much money from that horse as possible. And so if it was the special horse, I would think that it could demand a lot of money.
But I think also I think Val was at the point where she just wanted to make a point to Ashley and she didn't necessarily care.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was shocking. So Ashley comes down there, and she's obviously very, very upset. We have Constable Rodriguez asking Lou out on a date, so that's kind of exciting.
What boyfriend are we on for Lou? Is this 3?
Well, there's not a whole lot of competition, I don't think, for single women that age up there. It seems like. So then we have Kit ends up at the diner with Ty and his dad, and that was kind of an awkward scene.
It's so uncomfortable when your parents are like, oh, look, it's your friend. And it's like, oh, I kind of know that person, or like I did a group project with that person once, or like I haven't talked to that person in 2 years and they're not my friend anymore. But then your parents are like, oh, hi, how are you? How's life going? And it's like, this is so embarrassing.
Yeah. But obviously there's like a little bit more than that between Ty and Kit, which is like super awkward.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think even any situation with Ty and his dad is awkward. So then you add Kit, and it makes it even more awkward.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did you think about Ashley smashing in the truck of her mom's truck in front of the business people? What do you think of that, Michelle?
I mean, I don't blame her.
That was pretty good.
I mean, it was it was pretty epic.
Yeah.
I mean, she does go to like 1,000, but yeah. I mean, I dread to think what would happen if something happened to one of the animals and I knew the person responsible for it. So yeah, I totally see it from her point.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, it was pretty good. I was like, wow. Because she's still getting an allowance at this point. And she has the economy car and everything like that, but she's
the economy car's like a Mercedes or something as well.
Is it? I didn't even notice that. That's funny.
I think she said something about a Mercedes, and I was like, "Why are you complaining?"
Hey, I'm just happy someone gave me a car. I don't even care. That's funny. So then we had, and it was kind of funny to me when her car runs out of gas. And I'm just kind of thinking that happens with fancy cars too. Like the concept of getting gas is not unique to an economy car, Ashley. That made me laugh.
Well, I wonder if someone normally got gas for her. That was
Yes. But so I liked that Jack says to Ty's dad, he says, I hope whatever problems you have at work don't end up as Ty's problems.
Yeah.
And so do we know how, like, so Ty, he's still staying in the barn, right? And
yeah,
Caleb is in the house. Is that right?
No, Caleb lives in his trailer.
Oh, he lives in his trailer.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that because right now you have living at Heartland, you have Caleb, Ty, Mallory, Lou, Amy, and Jack, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's
I don't think we've seen his trailer yet, but we do see it at some point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he lives, and he doesn't even live on Heartland's property either. He rents from somebody else.
Oh, okay. I was thinking he was on there.
He lives off property.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so then you have Caleb, Ty, Mallory, and Amy all get in the water fight, which looked very relaxing.
Yeah, it looked nice.
That looked fun. And so this is when Ty's dad steals the money for it to buy the horses, and you knew that was going to happen, like you said, Michelle.
Yeah.
As soon as she puts that money in that drawer, you know it's a goner. And he just seems like a very weak man.
Yeah, because I think he says as well, Ty says, "What is ice cream van?"
There it is. Go get an ice cream. We can pause it. That's so funny. Thinking of this hot episode.
I right on time. Oh God. What was I saying? Oh, I think we found out that Ty's dad left, and then Ty's stepfather was abusive. Is that right, Amy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he says something about that.
Yeah.
Because when he
And
wants to
can't
name the horse after his mom.
Yeah.
So it kind of came off to me as more Ty's dad, this Brad, he was more manipulative and like emotionally abusive, and then that was different for Wade, which was Ty's stepdad.
Yeah. Then because some people don't know how to pick them, that's for sure. And so Ashley and Caleb end up flirting quite a bit in this episode. He finds her with her car, and she has the candy wrapper stuck to her face. Mm-hmm. And Amy, what do you think of Ashley and Caleb as a couple?
Well, I can't say much, but just you wait.
Ooh.
That's all I can really say. I mean, I think they're a very like unlikely couple, at this point at least. Mm-hmm. But you know, things change. I can't say. I don't know what to say because I obviously know what happens. But.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Lou ends up going on the date with Mark, and so that's exciting. And Amy and Ty kiss in the rain, and that's very romantic. He says he doesn't want to hurt her.
Yeah, that's not romantic.
That's not romantic, but all right. So our final episode, it's called Showdown. Mm-hmm. And so in this episode, it starts out with that Mallory's mom and dad are coming to pick her up, and they have big news. So yeah, so she's like, they're going to be they're going to have a baby, or, you know, there's all kinds of discussion. She's freaking out. Mm-hmm. And it turns out the big news is he has a golden record.
Yep. And she's not too happy about that.
No. And so, yeah, she thinks she doesn't really have much respect for the music. Mm-hmm. And they are going to put her in boarding school is the plan. Yep. And was this just kind of a way to get her off the show for some of these more intense episodes is what I kind of wondered, or?
I don't know, maybe. I have no idea. I mean, she comes back in the next couple episodes, so it doesn't like.
Oh, yeah.
She's not gone very long. So.
Oh, okay. I mean, it was hilarious when she kisses Ty.
Yeah, I couldn't even watch it. Oh my God.
That is so cute. Like, that is one of those moments in this show that, like, I just always remember. So fun.
Yeah.
So good.
It was really funny. I love Mallory. I think she's the best. And she's in that school uniform.
And okay, the name of this school, Blessed Virgin Academy.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Mallory.
And so there's all kinds of problems going on with the cows getting stolen, cow burglars in the different ranches. And there's these people that come and they helicopter over and they scout out the land, and then they come and they, with these ATVs and everything like that, they come and they take your cattle. And it's happened with Kit's dad, and they could lose the whole ranch. And so Tim is very upset, and he's also just very frustrated having to do all this paperwork that he didn't have to do before.
I love how you just referred to cattle rustlers as cow. When you say cow stealers?
Cow burglars.
Cow burglars.
Is that the correct name?
It's cattle wrestling. Yeah.
The stealers, the robbers.
Yeah, I mean, rustlers. Yeah.
They're cow burglars. That's what they are. They are terrible. Cow wrestlers. I don't think that sounds as nefarious.
Cattle rustlers, because they're rustling the cattle. They're stealing cattle.
I don't think that sounds as nefarious as cow burglars.
Don't burglars just like come in and steal things from your house?
No, they steal the cows. The cow burglars. So anyway, Ashley is supposedly a VP of guest relations at the Dude Ranch, but kind of made me wonder, how old is Ty supposed to be?
So Ty is, so he was 17, so he's 18 now. So Amy's 16 and Ty's 18 now.
Because there's some talk about him doing online school.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I thought was thinking he was a little bit older. He's 18. Okay.
Because he was 17 when he came to the farm.
So then Caleb says to Ashley, let's just stay friends. The whole friend zone. And
Caleb's a bit older. He's like 20, so.
Okay. Yeah. I liked they said plan B is to come up with plan C in a hurry. Mm-hmm. That sounds like sometimes covering Hallmark in podcast. So what do you think, Michelle, about Amy and Ty kind of going on? She says, you say you don't want to hurt me, then what are you doing right now?
Yeah, they're so bad at communicating. Mm-hmm. I mean, give them a break, they're teenagers, but yeah, they're just constantly on the wrong page with each other, constantly. Mm-hmm. I think Amy asked a lot of him when he's not in the best emotional state. Pretty much every time things have been really bad with his dad, Amy's sort of confronted him with their relationship, and it's sort of backfired. Mm-hmm. This is the second time it's happened. I think he's just not ready to commit in the way that she wants and be the boyfriend that she wants because of the I guess he also, the thing his dad is still so fresh. He just doesn't want to treat Amy the way his dad.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, like her ask is not that high. She's just asking, like, if you're leaving town, please tell me. Yeah, like, that's basically what she's asking for.
Yeah,
it's not that big of a commitment. Like, that's an email. Like,
yeah.
And for him, it's just unfathomable. He just can't get his head around it.
Yeah, and so Amy and Caleb have like a fight kiss. You know, they're like fighting, and then he kisses her. And Ty sees it. You see him in the corner. That was a pretty good scene, I thought.
That was a good scene, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And would you say that classifies Amy as a shut up and kiss me kiss?
Yeah, I think so. So.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Amy was asking for that shut up and kiss me. Like, was.
Well, it's such a romantic comedy staple of like we're fighting, and then all of a sudden we're kissing. I don't know if that happens that much in real life, but nevertheless,
I don't think so. But
it was pretty good, and especially having Ty there like in the corner, I think that worked really well. Mm-hmm. It was fun. And so then you get a kiss between Ty and Kit. Mm-hmm. So it's all kinds of shenanigans going on.
I do like that Kit spoke to Amy before anything happened.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like Kit's the most kind of responsible, communicative person so far. She's like, I'm just going to make sure it's okay with Amy before I do anything or say anything.
Yeah, that's true. So Tim hires Caleb and to help him in the ranch, and Amy says to Tim, you move in next door and you still have no idea of my life. Mm-hmm. So
she's upset that Caleb and Ty are taking turns watching these cattle, and she's at school and has all these other commitments, so their literal job is to be taking care of the farm, and now Tim's taking her help away from her. So
yeah. So Ashley ends up coming on to the cow liner. She sees it, and then it starts this whole sort of the final part of this episode, Ty and Caleb are watching they're trying to watch over the cows, and they come and there's this whole confrontation. Jack and Tim end up getting there. Amy's there, and Tim ends up standing in front of Amy and ends up getting shot. That was pretty exciting. I mean, like, is pretty intense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they steal the cow burglars steal all the cows. It was pretty crazy. But they have them branded, so can they recover these cows?
Yes.
Theoretically, yeah.
In some circumstances, yes. Yeah, it depends. Like, I mean,
yeah.
Well, we find out what happens eventually, but
so Tim is shot. They've called an ambulance, and we also had earlier. We have Val trying to apologize to Ashley, but Ashley doesn't accept it, and so they're still going on. And Jack basically says to her, like, you can't hire Rosalita forever to clean the.
And they found out wasn't Ashley's lie. Is Ashley at this point, I can't remember, is she living in the trailer, or is she living at Heartland, or is she living at the Dude Ranch?
She's living at the Dude Ranch, I think, right now. Yeah, in one of the cabins. Gotcha. And so, yeah, it's pretty interesting. Big cliffhanger. We'll see what's going to happen next with Tim. Hopefully, of course he is okay, because he's still on the show. But still.
Yeah, season 14, and he's still on the show, so we know he's going to be okay.
But nevertheless, it was a pretty good cliffhanger, I thought.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, definitely. Because the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, wait, what?
Yeah, right. So there we go. That is this episode. And so what we're planning on doing as far as Heartland is we are going to finish out season 2. And then we're going to take a hiatus from this recaps until after the holidays to keep our sanity. But you'll still be hearing from Michelle and from Amy and myself on the Hallmarkies podcast over the holidays. You'll probably hear way too much of me, that's for sure. But it's going to be really fun. And but we still have a couple more episodes of season 2 recap to do. So let us know if you're listening. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section or on Twitter what you think of these 3 episodes. And I apologize for getting the episodes confused. If that was confusing, I'm sorry. And but Michelle, where can people find you?
On Twitter at Michelle R. Benson.
Great. And Amy?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at It's Amy Craig.
Great. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. And you want to check that out. I've been doing a lot of really fun stuff. And make sure you're following Hallmarkies Podcast all over social media at Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast. And if you're listening on iTunes, please leave us your ratings and reviews. We really appreciate that. And if you are listening on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that as well. We have our merch store, which has some Heartland inspired merch. So check that out. And we also have our Patreon group, which is really fun. And it's going to have lots of cool stuff coming up over the holidays. So make sure that you check that out as well. All that information will be in the description. So thanks again, and we'll talk to you all next week. Bye, everyone.